Our human species is deteriorating rapidly. There's only one thing that can save you. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I work together with an interdimensional, interuniversal, and extraterrestrial force known as Telstar, along with Archangel Michael. The level of deterioration and decline in our planetary civilization in the past 3 years is really quite shocking. But this has been in the works for many, many years. It's only now that it's reaching its climax. Now, the world is only just beginning to awaken to the dangers of AI. But it is a very, very small minority of people who are even remotely aware of this. With every new AI invention that is released to the public, people just jump on it like it's the best thing they ever saw. Take ChatGPT, for example. That's the open source AI that can communicate just like a human. They say that in just a couple of years, every single thing you read online will be written by this AI imposter, or maybe another AI imposter, but imposter nonetheless. And you won't know it because it will be impersonating a human being. Now, you might think that's impossible. I mean, how could they ever pull that off? Well, it will be extremely easy because everyone is buying into this already. ChatGPT is the latest cool thing to come down the pike. They say it's so cool because you won't have to know how to write anymore. ChatGPT will do all of your writing for you, which means you will also be doing a lot less thinking. See, this is just one step closer to AI doing our thinking for us. That's probably what's next. They'll probably say, hey, wouldn't it be great if no one had to bother with thinking anymore? Thinking is such a pain, isn't it? You have to make decisions. You have to know things like words. You have to understand concepts. I mean, who needs that kind of aggravation? If you think that sounds crazy, pay attention to how they're marketing ChatGPT. They're saying things like, writing is such a pain. It takes up far too much of your time. It's just too much work. Wouldn't it be so much better if you could use that time for other more important things? Guys, remember when it used to be a good thing to actually know how to write? Not anymore, apparently. I think the goal is to make us all illiterate. Maybe they just want us to be biological placeholders for AI to ultimately take over everything, including our brains. And now we have the insanity of World War III, which apparently has already started. We have the deconstruction of man and woman, where the reality of male and female human beings is being completely delegitimized. So, with all of this going on, we run a great risk of losing our hearts. Think about the fact that so many people are collapsing from issues related to that corresponding physical organ. I find that extremely symbolic. It's symbolic because if we're not careful, our divine hearts will be next. So what does that mean? Well, you can't really collapse the divine heart, but you can collapse your ability to connect with it. You can also collapse your ability to conduct the heart's energy. And that's what the controllers are likely trying to do. If they were to succeed, they would ultimately collapse our human ability to evolve. And that's their goal. They want to stop our natural human evolution and use us as a transitional species to create a new synthetic AI version of life. Now, the heart is so important because it is the driving force behind our evolution in the cosmos. This means that the heart is our most precious asset. In truth, it's the only thing that can save you. And the controllers know this, which is why they want to shut it down. Now, we human beings naturally support each other's hearts. The more we experience a heartfelt connection to other people, the more the energy and the power of our hearts grow. And the controllers have been attacking that connection in a big way. Think about the heart-closing words that we are being repeatedly attacked with. Words like social justice, bigotry, racism, climate crisis, disease, terrorism, transgenderism, masking, social distancing, death, war, cancel culture, and violence. I mean, the list goes on and on. The negativity is off the charts. These words are all designed to shut us down. When your heart is being constantly attacked, and when the world refuses to recognize you as the simple human being that you are, then you are inadvertently going to form a shell around your heart to protect yourself. You might even reach a point where you can't feel yourself anymore. Your heart may feel like a distant memory that you no longer know how to access. And that's what's happening to humanity. Without the heart, there is no evolution. Because when you cut off the heart, you remove the literal driving force of human evolution. When you cut off the heart, you are left with only fear. And fear does not evolve anyone. And that's what's happening to us. You see it in the way that families and friends are being torn apart over the most ridiculous things. Things like, did you get that sharp thing stuck in your arm? Did you cover your face with cloth for every waking moment or not? You see it in the fact that so many people feel alone and friendless. And then we have the massive use of drugs designed to snuff out real emotions. So being that today is Valentine's Day, let's talk about how we can deal with this and protect and save our hearts. Here's why this matters. Without the heart, we are entirely controllable. We can be easily controlled using fear and lies. The lies work because without the heart, you lose discernment, and you are therefore very easy to manipulate. Now, an energetically healthy human being can naturally conduct the energy of the heart outward in a radiating flow of love. This is how we are born. This is our original human blueprint. Our bodies love openness and a radiating, unimpeded flow of the energy of love. We thrive physically, mentally, and emotionally under those conditions. We heal naturally and we don't hold on to stuff. This way of being is the secret to our source of power and intelligence. It all centers on the heart. This is what we need to protect and reactivate. You can think of the heart as the source point of your infinite being. the you that never dies. This is what connects you to God and the universe. Evolution means to create yourself in such a way that you can fully manifest that truth again. Now, what do I mean by create yourself? I'm referring to the fact that we are each responsible for our existence here. We are responsible for whether we use our own intelligence or allow something or someone else to do our thinking for us. The mind is a creative force. You have the power to decide how you think and how you perceive reality. You have the power to learn and grow. You have the power to decide your own direction in life. You have the power to care for yourself. And we have so many powers that we often don't even use. So creating yourself means to create your own vision of yourself. That's very different from allowing other people to do that for you. It's certainly very different from allowing the controllers to define who you are. So if you define yourself as an evolving cosmic being who seeks to grow into a reality that perfectly matches your divine heart and your original human blueprint, then you are setting your own direction in this universe. And this direction completely transcends the physical reality that you know right now. Now is just your starting place. It doesn't have to be your end. Once you understand yourself as an evolving cosmic being, the next thing to do is to recognize yourself as an energy being. Everything about you manifests as a certain frequency of energy. This includes your physical body, along with any circumstances that you might create. It all bears a certain frequency signature. So the idea for an evolving human being is to get your frequency of life to come as close as possible to the frequency of your higher divine heart. I say as close as possible because when you are in a state of duality, it's never going to be perfect. But by doing the best you can eventually drive your evolution to a certain threshold. That threshold represents the moment when you can shift into a higher dimension of consciousness. So there are two things that we can do to stay on that profound path of power. One is to restore our heart connection to what it was before all of this AI started taking over. The second is to take full responsibility for the overall state of our energy. So let's talk about the first thing, which is the restoration of our original heart blueprint before AI. Now, you might say, hey, Saratoga, I don't need to do that because I never bought into AI. I hardly even use the internet and I don't have a smartphone. I stay off social media. I don't watch the news. Well, that might be true, but it doesn't account for the fact that on some level we have all changed due to the change in our collective human vibration on this planet. Now, I was recently watching a video of a group of people, and this took place before everyone was on the internet. What blew my mind was how shockingly different these people's vibration was from what we have become today. It made me realize how far we have fallen as human beings. See, these controllers have technologies that we don't even see. They have messed up this planet's electromagnetic vibration in profound ways. For example, they have what I like to call weather screwing up technology. They have thousands of satellites surrounding the Earth, 5G, 6G, and stuff we've probably never heard of. They have weapons technology that I'm sure surpasses anything we even know about. Maybe that's why they give so many weapons away to a certain other very popular country that's name starts with a U. Maybe that stuff's really all junk and they have some really serious stuff that's hidden behind the scenes. I mean, we just don't know. I'm sure that we only know a small fragment of what is really going on in this regard. But all of this technology, all of the things I just mentioned, and all the things we don't know about that they have going on, this is all very alien to our planet. This is alien technology. It is in no way in harmony with this Earth. And this affects every living thing, us included. And of course, the way they have ruined us as social creatures has also taken a massive toll on our vibration and on our energy. So we are all being energetically influenced in some way by this madness. Now, if they can get our energy to be incompatible with our heart's energy, then they can break that connection. They won't hurt the heart, but they can destroy our ability to feel it, which is the worst thing that could ever happen to us. So I want to offer you a little time travel exercise. How effective this will be depends upon how long you have been on this planet. If you've only been on the planet for, say, 20 years or less, it will be a little bit more difficult because you will have less to draw upon. But if you've been here for, say, 40 or 50 years or more, then you have a distinct advantage. And by the way, it's best if you don't associate this with birthdays of any kind. It's not about how old you are. It's about how many years you've been here. Those are not the same thing. But that's a topic for another video. For now, just look at yourself as a being who has been present on this planet for a certain number of years, having nothing to do with the so-called age of your body. What you want to do is find some relaxing, quiet time alone where you can just kind of muse about whatever path or timeline you've been on in your life. Now, we're not necessarily looking for anything spiritual right now. We're looking for a time in your life when you can recall how it felt to be human before the internet was super popular and even before smartphones. So you're looking backwards on your timeline and you're scanning for any such experiences. You want to settle on those that were positive because that's what will be closest to your heart. The ideal point would be to locate a time that was before everyone had smartphones. That's probably the best line of demarcation. Now, if you haven't been on Earth long enough to have had that experience on your own timeline, then see if you can find a time that was before you yourself were coupled with any such devices. Once you can recall a point on your timeline where you can recall what it felt like to be human before smartphones and devices, then see if you can delve deeply into that experience and restore that same sensation in your current moment of now. Let your mind time travel back to that experience again and really get into it. The goal is to recreate as best you can the experience of that vibrational frequency in your body right now. That will serve as your touchstone for what you're trying to get back to vibrationally overall. Now, this should be a very pleasant experience, although it can also make you feel very sad when you see the contrast with how things feel now. Now, if you find this difficult, then I suggest that you journal about it. Journaling is a great way to anchor a past positive experience into the now. It can help to pull your vibrational memory of that previous reality into your body right now. That way, your consciousness can begin to resonate again with the feeling of being human before all of this AI madness. You can do this time travel exercise as often as you want. What you're trying to do is to become more conscious of what it feels like to be human in the most natural vibration possible. You want to do whatever you can to restore that vibration in your body, your mind, and your emotions. This is one tiny example of what I meant when I was talking about creating yourself. So this is something you can work on to whatever degree you feel inspired. The second thing to do is to raise your vibration from the most natural possible place. So let's say that you have located a place on your earlier timeline that you can resonate with, that gives you the experience of being human before being attached to an AI device. That's your anchor point. From there, you want to contemplate the idea of raising your vibrational frequency to a higher level overall. Your anchor point of experience connects you to the most natural state of being that would be closest to your heart. Now, this point does not have to be perfect. It doesn't matter if you had problems during that original point of origin. Remember that we're not looking for something spiritual or necessarily awesome. As long as you can feel your heart from within that previous point in time, that's all that matters. What matters is the connection. Now, from this anchor point, take a look at where you are now. This is the time to raise your vibration, but you want to try to do it while maintaining whatever natural heart connection you felt before AI took over. Next, you want to take full responsibility for the state of your energy. There are always simple things that you can do to raise your vibration. Things like meditation or going outside in nature, affirmations, listening to music, etc. There's a whole lot of very simple things. But let's go a step further. Let's take it to a level that helps you to be more of a creator. You want to take two things into account. Number one, the first goal is to raise your vibration overall. And number two, you want to create a frequency of energy in your body, your mind, and your emotions that matches a higher vision of your life. You want to create an energetic blueprint of what you want. This is how you use your mind as a creative force. This is all about matching energy and frequency to the exact state of being that you want to experience. Here's the simplest way to approach this. Think of your mind as the paintbrush. Your thoughts and your vision are like energetic paint. So with your mind, you're going to paint your vision. Now, this is not a flat vision that you only hold in your mind's eye. It's three-dimensional. You want to paint it throughout your body and your emotions as well. You want to create a full body experience of your vision. Your mind has the ability to paint in at least 3 dimensions and probably more. It's certainly not limited to just 1 or 2 dimensions of reality. The more realistic and full-on body experience that you can create with the energy painting of your mind, the better blueprint you're going to create, the more accurate it's going to be. So the goal is to make your vision as real as possible. Why? Because the more real it is, the more it will change your current frequency to match it. Think of yourself as a creative power, because that's what you are. You can create whatever frequency blueprint you want. And when you get really good at this, your energy will begin to expand into the outer world around you. That's when atoms and molecules will begin to resonate and line up with your self-generated blueprint frequency. That's when your circumstances begin to change. That's when your life can begin to transform. Now, what does this have to do with the heart? Your heart is the guiding force in all of this. Your heart is perfection. If your vision deeply resonates with your divine heart, then you will know that you are on a positive track of evolution. And this is why we cannot afford to lose touch with our hearts. Because when we lose touch with our hearts, we also lose touch with the natural world and the natural universe. Your heart is also your source of expanding energy. That's because it's the source of the infinite light that created the entire universe. It's like a portal to your highest, most perfect self. It's the only energy that can truly expand your consciousness. This is why the controllers want to break us in this regard. This is the final break that they have in mind. If they can permanently break us from our hearts, then they can pull us into a very dark place for perhaps eons of time. And in that case, it will be a long while before we are able to climb out of that one. So let this Valentine's Day be a reminder of the imperative nature of staying connected to our hearts and ultimately becoming one with that infinite part of ourselves. And if you're watching this video after Valentine's Day, it obviously doesn't matter, because what I am talking about here should apply to every single day going forward. And really, I think the benefit of Valentine's Day, if you don't look at it as a quote holiday, which I really don't, the benefit to Valentine's Day is that it reminds us of this very important thing, of our divine, most beautiful, most imperative connection to our hearts. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you think would enjoy the beauty and protection of reconnecting with their own heart. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell, because I am here every Tuesday with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.